immediate family? Could you mean cousins? Could you mean distant cousins? When you say family, how far does that go back?
Well, we like to go back as far as you can, but some people can go back as far as their great-grandparents. Some people have been able to go back as far as their grandparents, and that's great. And then some people have only their parents and their siblings that they can go back to. Any family health history can help, because had Todd known to just go back to his grandparents and his uncle, it would have saved his life. So it's crucial.
Even if it's your cousin, your second cousin, first
or second cousin.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if there's a third cousin involved, it doesn't necessarily relate. Am I correct?
I'm not saying it doesn't necessarily relate. I'm saying that there are people we've not been able to go back through my foundation to third cousins. We do have first and second cousins, and that's as far back as we've been able to get people to go.
Okay.
Some of our clients have gone back to their grandparents, like I said, and as far back as their great grandparents. I would love for us to go back to our great grandparents. We just haven't had any clients that come through my foundation that can go that far back. But any family health history, because we've had people that are adopted that can't go back. So what we teach people to do, if you're adopted and you don't know your family health history, then you need to know your body. Then we encourage you to go to the doctor at least once a year, so that if any cellular changes start to take place in your body, any physical changes start to take place, then they can start charting you, because you've gone, for a period of time.
Let's talk about your foundation. What's the name of your foundation?
Keeping Tabs on Your Heart.
And what does that foundation do?
We educate you about your family health history, and myself, along with the Ohio State Medical Center, we do what is called Heart Sunday. And once a month, we go to a different church on Sundays, and I share my story. And the doctors discuss what hypertension is, what diabetes is, what cholesterol is, and how it's all related to heart disease. And then we teach you the necessary steps that you need to know to prevent and or treat these diseases, to prevent having a heart attack.
I want to ask the question that's been, when we start tracing history, family history, African Americans in particular, as you know, had a great interruption in terms of their genealogy, in terms of their history. How do we deal with this? Because, as you know, our families were broken up, they were destroyed. Unfortunately, African American men may have fathered, several different families here and there, and oftentimes children do not have an opportunity to know their father, to even have met their father, et cetera, et cetera. How do we begin to address this peculiar problem as it relates to the history of black genealogy? How do we do that?
Well, you know what, and I'm not going to go as deep as you go, but even in my family, I did not learn until I was 30 years old that my father's stepfather, I didn't know he was his stepfather. I thought he was my grandfather.
Okay.
And I write about this in my book. My father was born out of an affair that his mom had with another married man.
Okay.
So I never knew who my biological grandfather was. So I don't know my father's side of our family health history. I can only go back as far as my father. My father couldn't go back to his father. So we can only go back as far as we can go back. Now, some people do the ancestry tree and all of that. My foundation does not do that. We only take information that you can provide to us, be it your mom. Some people can only go back to their parents and their siblings, but that is some place to go. And I said, if you can't go back in your family health history because you've been adopted, then it's time for you to start paying attention to your body. And I tell people all the time, if something starts to happen to your body and you start experiencing pains or discomfort that you're not typically prone to, it's time for you to go to the doctor. You can't just blow that off.
Yeah, I had something like that happen to me where I had pain up around my shoulder and the pain just wouldn't go away. I said, better get this checked out.
Right.
And it started to get a little bit more acute, and I went and had it checked out, and I had all kind of tests run. Thank God.
I'm glad you did.
I was okay.
Right.
But health, what does it mean to be healthy? Let's start with nutrition. How important is nutrition in terms of maintaining health? Because as you know, we've got a big problem in America, and particularly in certain communities, with people being extremely overweight, eating horrible foods. I ain't gonna call out no brand name, but horrible foods.
Well, you know what, Khari, I don't like to go, because I'm not an expert on that. I do encourage people to, and I have a piece in my book called The Resource Guide, and it's at the back of the book, because my book really speaks more on my life's journey. It's a memoir. It's my story. But I do encourage people about how important it is to exercise and how important it is to watch what we eat and how important it is. And I'll tell anyone, do all things in moderation. I mean, I don't tell anyone not to do anything ever. But nutrition and diet, especially in our community, it's vitally important. Think about our Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin. What did she just say after this procedure that she went through? She just eliminated all of her favorite foods. What? Fatback. And I hate to say it, chitlins, pork chops, all the things that she said.
I can't stand the smell of
I can't even stand the smell of
it.
it.
Eat them.
And she's been eating it, and she's 68 years old now, and she says she's just now learning she has to stop eating like that.
Yeah.
And it took her to become 68, hospitalized with whatever condition. Thank God she's okay. But we have to watch what we eat, and we have to be mindful of our health, because if you don't have your health, you have nothing.
Let's talk about exercise. All of us in this social order, when we go to the supermarket, we go to a shopping mall, we try to park as close as we can.
That's so funny.
To the store so we don't have to walk.
And you know what? I tell people that too. I tell people, I'm not trying to beat you up about exercise. And I said, but there are little things you can do. If you work in an office building, take the steps instead of the elevator. When you go to the parking lot at the grocery store or the mall, park furthest away and just walk to the door. That's something. Run the vacuum cleaner at a fast pace in your house. The way you dust your furniture, there's so many ways.
The way you dust your furniture?
Yeah, I mean, you can briskly, dust your furniture.
Now, I know about mopping floors.
Okay, mopping floors, that's a good one.
And shoveling snow, you have to be
you got to be real careful with shoveling.
Yeah, because I was out shoveling snow the other day, and I felt a little twinge, but I kept on shoveling.
And my book is not a health awareness book.
Yeah.
I do talk about the things that were missed in Todd's life. My book is a testament to the value of life and the value of relationships. Because I talk about my relationship. I was estranged from my youngest sister. I talk about my relationship with my father. He was in my life. My father was in our home. He was a great provider, but my father was not emotionally available. And because he didn't validate his daughters, I believe when fathers don't do that with their girls, it's a part of why we select the type of men we select. Right. And it shapes the type of women we become. So I encourage fathers in my book to validate your daughters and hug your daughters and hug your sons. My father didn't do that, but that was his generation. So I talk about that. I talk about my relationship with my mom and my siblings and my friends. It's a value of life book. It really is.
The pain didn't kill me. Daphne Bell. Daphne, thank you.
Thank you.
How can we get in touch with you?
You can reach me. My book website is Daphne, Daphne Bell.com. And you can reach me via that, or you can reach me via the paindidn'tkillme.com.
Thank you, and continue to do the great work you're doing for us and everyone else on this planet.
Thank you, Khari.